and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to look back at one of my drawings from 2016 and critique it. The drawing I chose is the Black Cat House in Riga, Latvia. I chose to critique this drawing first because this is the drawing I have the biggest love-hate relationship with. I originally chose this building for the color and the adorable cat on top. To be honest, I forgot what the original photo looked like, so I had to go back into Google and search for the reference photo I used for this drawing. Now that I've seen the original photo, I understand why I made some of the decisions that I did when I first drew this photo. Let's start with the building in the background. Using the reference photo, I see that I did this well, but for some reason it just looks messy to me. I could have done a better job in the gradients. This, for some reason, even though I see in the reference photo, that's how it looks, it seems off. I don't know if it's because of the different tones of gray that it looks so flat, and I know I could do better now. This was the 8th drawing I've ever done, so I know I have to cut myself some slack. I have gotten better over the years, but looking at this roof right here is really the only part of this that I feel like I did a good job with the gradient. This all seems flat. This seems flat even though it's supposed to be a dome. The roof seems flat. I know I can do better now, but back then in 2016, this was what the reference photo looked like. This is what I did, but looking back at it, just seems messy. I know I need to do better. The tree, I think, is the biggest reason why I do not like this drawing so much. The branches are too bold and thick to make it look like a tree. The stippling that I used as the leaves are not gradiently smooth, and they do not cover the branches well enough to be considered a tree. The edge over here is more tree-like than the center, and I think the center is the reason why I have such a problem with this drawing. I could have done better, but overall the tree does not seem full enough. Now on to the main building. Let's start with the roof. This was done in 2016 before I started using Post-its to clean up the edges to stop these little lines. I don't know if you can see them. See if I can zoom in a little. These lines. I use the sticky part of a Post-it because it's easier to peel off and it doesn't take up the paper, and it's actually quite effective. This was before I started using Post-its, so I do not like this. This area here, even though the gradient is correct, these leaves, this part of the tree should be darker to have more of a distinction between the two, and I do not do this in properly. So again, comes back to the tree, the problem. This area, all here and here, just seems missing yet again. I don't think I rushed back then, but I don't know, I may have. I mean, I'm looking at the lines when I probably did, but I didn't think I did. So, that is what it is. I am a little upset because the cat went straight up to it. And I wish there was a little bit more space, but oops, I did not make space for that. So that is the roof. These areas here, I do not think I portrayed that well. If you look at the reference photo of this area and what's in our photo, I could have done this. So, if I make my way down to the windows, again, they all seem messy. The gradients could have been better. I feel like it's part messy and it doesn't portray the window well. Not to mention, on some of these you can still see the easel line. I thought I erased it well enough, but clearly I did not. So, and also there's this balcony behind the tree a little. This is pencil line. I'm looking at these and I'm just, oh man, why am I decision? If you look here, the windows seem flat. Not so much here. I think that's just the angle more than anything. But this seems flat. It seems like it's all on the same plane. And really these are indented a little. And you cannot tell that around the window. It just all seems flat. There's a little bit of an arch to make it seem like it's indented, but that's not doing anything. And it's just a flat arch. And the same goes for other windows as well. And again, the gradients, the distinction, it's not solid. This does not look like the window actually should. Some windows seem to have a little bit depth, like right here, but they're really the exception. Now, onto the front of the room. I originally chose this drawing for the color, and with the photo, the reference photo I have, it is a flat day. There's no shadows, there's no sun to give highlight. It is probably an overcast day when the photo was taken, so it just looks flat in the photo, all same color. So that is why I chose not to do any micron lines all throughout to give this more depth. And I think that's my biggest mistake, is I just did straight marker. Some of these, okay, there's little boxes, I don't know if you can see them. Probably can. What do you mean? Yeah. There are little boxes that's still in pencil, but these little boxes are supposed to be much lighter in the photo, and they're not. This is supposed to be much lighter in the photo, and it's not. It's shelf. And because of that, and I only use one color. Oh, also up here, I just realized. Up here it should be lighter. And because of that, I feel like I could have done better. I want to redo this just to show more depth into the building. Everything, again, looks flat. I understand the decisions I made back in 2016, but now that I have over 80 drawings under my belt, and this was only my 8th at the time, I know I can do better. And I would like to redo this photo one day, just to see the growth of what happens when I redo the 8th drawing I've ever done. Another thing that I realized about this, the yellow that I used and how I used it, I cross-hatched the yellow onto the building. And again, that was probably a poor decision. Again, it looks messy, you see in between the lines. Recently, I was going through my sketchbook on my shelf, and I came across this small sketchbook. I wasn't sure if I ever used it, and I looked inside and I actually had. And the first drawing I did was in 2019, and it was actually of the roof up here. The cap, just the roof, and maybe a little bit of here, but mostly just the roof. And I realized all the critiques I had about this and using the lines and not enough depth, I actually did everything I critiqued in here back in 2019 of just the roof, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you can see, this is solid. There's no cross-hatching, it is just solid yellow. The lines and the edges give the window depth. The gradient is much, I don't know what the word is. Gradient is much easier. It's smoother. The cat has space, and there's a lot more depth in the windows. I don't know what these are. Oh, there is a lighter tone with the yellow up here. I told you it was 2 different tones. So everything I talked about, this is what I meant by it. So I would like to do a larger one of this, but I am glad back in 2019 I did a small version of this. I like how I did this here, and this is what I would probably do now if I redid this. So, yes. Kinda, yeah. I didn't do a bad job, but it can be better. 2016, 2019, 3-year difference. And you can definitely see the practice does pay. Final thoughts. Comparing the 2 drawings with the reference photo, you can see I did this drawing with the best of my abilities and what I saw in the photo. But with 3 years of practice, there's more detail, there's more shadowing, there's more depth. So, I do not hate the original drawing, but again, with experience and time and practice, I am more proud of this little one in the roof than I am of this. But I do not regret doing this drawing. So, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good day.